I love football, but God, as a Niner fan, this is like the worst possible matchup. Because it did feel as great as Detroit was this year and as awesome as Philly was all year on both sides of the ball. NFC wasn't that great. And the Niners obviously did not deserve to make the playoffs. And it just sucks.
This is a game from hell for 49er fans. There's no doubt. Jasky?
What's up, man? I love football. But God, as a Niner fan, this is like the worst possible matchup. And I hate to be Mr. Debbie Downer on a Monday morning, your favorite day of the week. It's just, I'm so frustrated. You know, I look at the Chiefs. They're awesome. They're great. I don't know where Mahomes is going to end up when his career is all said and done. I don't know. Some people want to say he's the greatest quarterback already, whatever. Like, that's fine. He's awesome. I'm not going to dispute that. Andy Reid, amazing. What he's been doing, the longevity to win at the clip that they've won, it feels like their season starts every single year in the conference championship game. There's no doubt about it. But God, I keep coming back to, and you and I have talked about this, the Niners are going to be a highlight in their montage into the Hall of Fame. And similar to the Cincinnati Bengals of the 80s, we are their Bengals to their 49er dynasty. And it just doesn't sit well with me. A play here, a play there, a play here, a play there. Everything plays out different. There's an alternate multiverse where the Niners have multiple Super Bowls. It's not this one. It's not this universe. But there's a multiverse out there somewhere where the Niners win one, if not both of those Super Bowls. And it's just so frustrating because they are that good and they are that inevitable. And then I look over at the Eagles on the other side and I'm frustrated because it did feel as great as Detroit was this year and as awesome as Philly was all year on both sides of the ball. NFC wasn't that great. And the Niners obviously did not deserve to make the playoffs. And it just sucks. It sucks. Can they get back to it? Obviously. And we could talk about all the things that they need to do. But it's like, I'm frustrated as a Niner fan because I'm seeing Saquon have the year that we saw CMC have last year. I'm seeing Jalen Hurts not put the ball in harm's way. I'm seeing all their young players that they acquired in recent drafts, whether it's Jalen Carter, whether it's the two guys in the secondary, just absolutely dominate. Yeah, these are the two best teams in the league. And this is the most deserving. And I one last thing as I'm ranting and raving. Look, as much as I can't stand Sirianni, freaking guy wins. I throw my hands up. Freaking guy wins. I thought Jalen Hurts would be the weak point on the team. Didn't put the ball in harm's way once yesterday. He was outstanding.
Jalen Hurts, we could start there with Jalen Hurts. The morning game, the afternoon game, high noon kickoff there. If you are a Niner fan, are you frustrated? What's your big takeaway from this postseason? 888-957-9570. Worst possible matchup. I can't get over my head. If the Raiders and Cowboys ever met in the Super Bowl, that would be disgusting. I can kind of live with Kansas City right now because I understand how good Mahomes and Andy Reid and Kelsey is. I understand how good Chris Jones is. I'm actually rooting for them to have a three-peat. I'd rather them win it than the Eagles fans celebrating down Broad Street. I want them to be miserable. So this is a game from hell for 49er fans. There's no doubt. But you brought up Jalen Hurts. And for whatever reason, he gets critiqued a little different than the other quarterbacks. I get it. He's not the most accurate when it comes to the intermediate passing game. Their passing game concepts look a little simple, but they do what's tailor-made towards Jalen Hurts. And in his last 3 seasons, Jalen Hurts, by the way, when he took Carson Wentz's spot, he won over that locker room, and they made a wild card game. And they lost to Tampa Bay. They lost to Tom Brady down in Tampa. And what do? They go out and trade for A.J. Brown to add him with weapons. So now you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You had Saquon Barkley this year. But the last 3 years for Jalen Hurts, 2-time NFC champ, 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. He has 121 total touchdowns. I know those 51 rushing touchdowns, a lot of them are on the Tush push, but he does pass well, and he doesn't turn it over. First quarterback in 33 years to reach a Super Bowl after losing their first Super Bowl. So now he has a little revenge on his mind against Kansas City when he lost that Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. But all Jalen does, whether it's Alabama, whether it's Oklahoma, is he puts his team in a position to win high-level football games. So I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Will it come down to him? May not have to because they play such good complementary football in Philadelphia. The running game is great with Saquon Barkley and their offensive line with just smalls dudes all night long. Their defense is number one in the league, led by Jalen Carter in the middle, in the trenches, which opens up the rest of the defensive floodgates for his linebackers, defensive ends. You got Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell in the secondary with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They're legit Philadelphia, so they match up very well with Kansas City. And you're right, Sirianni, Hurts, they find ways to win. And maybe there's a blueprint for the 49ers to bounce back the way Philadelphia did after last season. And once they started 10-1, it fell off the map. They readjusted, signed Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator, Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. They upgraded around the edges. And, man, they're back in the Super Bowl. And they have a legit shot to basically halt the history of the Kansas City Chiefs and try to three-peat with Mahomes and company.
Bonte, he's 51-23 if you include the playoffs. That's Jalen Hurts. 51-23. You know, like, we could talk about all the things he isn't, and we could talk about all the things that Howie Roseman's put around him. The guy makes the most of it, and they win games, and he's a huge part of that. And so I look at Sirianni. He's 48-20 in the regular season. He has a 706 winning record. That's the best in the NFL for a guy who was hired in 2000, staying with one team. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe
all
that.
the talk about him being on a hot seat, but it's like, wait a minute, they're winning games. They're winning football games. And he's been able to keep that locker room in check despite some of the turbulence with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. They bring in Saquon Barkley. Just thinking about the New York Giants, we were texting about it yesterday. Joe Shane, the GM, it looks worse and worse and worse.
I mean, come on.
And I call Uncle on this one where I'm like, wait a minute. They draft Malik Neighbors. So they had a chance, the New York Giants. They could have took Michael Penix Jr., and he could have been their quarterback in the future, which would have looked a lot better than the situation they're in now.
Well, they had to have Daniel Jones.
But they had to have Daniel Jones.
I don't get it.
But think about it. They could have had two different combinations, either Malik Neighbors and Saquon Barkley, or Michael Penix Jr. and Saquon Barkley. But either way, they ended up with just one of the players, just Malik Neighbors. So now you're starting, and he goes to Philadelphia, and he's having one of the greatest seasons a running back has ever had in NFL history.
Remember we were talking last week about owners meddling?
Yep.
There's a scene in the offseason Hard Knocks where Joe Shane's sitting there, and Mara comes in. I don't know which Mara it is. John, I believe.
John Mara.
Yeah, he's the head honcho.
Wellington is his dad.
He comes in, and I know that he's cognizant of not being seen as a meddler. And he comes into the room and he goes, "Are you sure about this with the Saquon Barkley thing?" He says it to the GM, and he goes, "Yes, we're sure." And he's like, "Boy, I'd hate to lose him. The fans love him.
Yep.
He's our number one selling jersey. He's a great player. I might not be able to sleep at night if he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles." That's what he says. So I ask people out there, like, and I'm not saying that the GM's not, a good football man. I think Joe Shane should have been fired right then and there, the next day. I mean, you and I talked. He signed for $26 million guaranteed.
Yep.
$26 million. You had him. You could have franchised him. You didn't. You didn't keep him. You let him walk for nothing. You lost him for nothing. It's straight up asset allocation. And I go back to, boy, I think that the owner should have put his thumb on the scale.
He should have. Just thinking about it now when you got Malik Neighbors, and he's a fine young player.
He's a stud.
He's a stud. But the fact is, you could have had him and Saquon. Right? And I didn't even think about it till it just I remember the Joe Shane scene. I'm like, boy, this is a bad look.
I went crazy the next day.
I mean, this is a bad look. And you got Daniel Jones. When you gave him the $40 million, nobody thinks Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I'm very interested to see what his quarterback market is, Daniel Jones. Who signs him?
I think he's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota right now, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell he's going to do. But here's the back and forth between Saquon Barkley and Joe Shane on the Hard Knocks all season.
This was horrible.
Back in the summer.
Hello,
Saquon.
Yeah, what's up?
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm chilling. Just chilling with the fam.
You in Jersey right now?
Yeah, I'm there right now.
Yeah. How's the off season been? You doing anything?
Yeah, I've been good. Traveled a little bit, but just trying to get back into the grind, off-season treatments.
Yeah. All right, so I just talked to Ed Barry, and I think just mulling over this, the right thing to do is let you test the market and see what your value is.
Oh no!
I don't want to do the franchise thing or all that stuff again. I don't want to go through that. We've both been through that. If you really want to be a Giant for life and you're interested in staying here and coming back, just see what your market is, and then have Ed come back to us, and we'll see if we can come to an agreement.
All right, I appreciate that.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Can you give me your word on that, or you're not going to give us a chance?
What do you mean? Like circling back?
Yeah.
I mean, I already told you where I want to be, so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that. We'll go out and see what the market says. I think it's the right thing to do. I love you, man. I appreciate everything you did for the organization. The 2 years I was here, and I'm not saying we're not going to get something done, but I think it's right if for some reason it doesn't work out, that you know that the organization thinks the world of you and everything you've done. But hopefully, you go out there, you see the market, and you say, you know what, I want to be here, and you give us a shout back.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right, Saquon, I'll talk to you.
That was, I mean,
It sounds worse.
It sounds worse when you hear it and you're getting ready for an NFL draft. You just say to yourself, I have Saquon already. He's a special talent. Let me just keep him here and build around him. And maybe I draft Michael Penix Jr. when I need a quarterback. Move off of Daniel, and then maybe you're getting a wide receiver later in the draft. There were so many wide receivers that went in the second round. You could Lat McConkey sitting there. Maybe you trade up for him. I have no idea. Worthy, who we saw yesterday with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he looks like a stud. But the fact that you could have had a combination of either Saquon and Malik Neighbors or Michael Penix Jr. and Saquon, and you end up with just Malik Neighbors, and then Saquon moves to your division rival, your hater rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's walking in his first season with the Eagles to the Super Bowl and making a huge difference. I mean, 60-yard runs, 50-yard runs. This is unreal. I think his season was better than CMC's last year. It feels like it was better than CMC's.
I mean,
it's just,
his playoffs were.
Definitely his playoffs were.
And I don't think that's a knock on CMC. I think it's more elevating how great Saquon's been. Pete, that one yesterday. Jaden Daniels, 17-play drive. They get all the way down. They get the field goal. One play, gone. What was it, 60, 65 yards?
60 yards.
I mean, he's unreal. He is unreal. And you know what? Here's what I would say. As I zoom out, as frustrated as I am with the Giants and the fact that it's the Eagles that have him, as a fan of football, dude, I'm glad he's able to get to the big,
his talent.
Yeah, to the big. Yeah. Like, this is the same thing I said about CMC. Great players need to be on great teams so that we could see them in big games.
Yep.
Period. You know.
Doubt.
And one thing, as I'm listening to Joe Shane, I got frustrated. We all got frustrated. The Niners have had their own issues when it comes to negotiations and deals, and they've missed on picks. Mm-hmm. They've missed on signings. They've missed on a lot of things. I'll tell you this. I know John Lynch isn't that inept, because when I listen to that sound from Joe Shane, dog, if you didn't know the second you hung up that phone that guy was gone, then you're one of the dumbest people in the league.
Well, you heard the words, we just appreciate everything you've done for this organization. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Why would you even say that? Why would you even say that? And then you're going to ask him, hey, do I have your word? Do I have your word? No, you don't have his word. And he's going to go visit. He's going to get to that Eagle situation.
Exactly.
Howie Roseman's going to pick up the phone and say, dude, Saquon, look at our offensive line.
Oh, come on.
And look at your offensive line to New York Giants. You've been beat up and hit behind the line of scrimmage over and over and over again, getting beat 40-0 on opening night against the Dallas Cowboys. Come to Philadelphia. You got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You will see light boxes all season long. And if you do see an 8-man box, doesn't worry, because we could get you to the second and third level to go break a long touchdown.
When I think of greatest NFL free agent signings, I close my eyes. It's like Reggie White. It's Deion Sanders.
Tom Brady.
Peyton Manning. Tom Brady. Saquon's right there.
Oh, he's right there.
And if they win it all, it's right there. I mean, it is right there. It's one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen.
No, it is. Super Bowl set up in Kansas City, the first team, Shaska. We had 3 teams that had gone back-to-back with an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl for a chance at a three-peat. Steelers in the 70s, the Niners and Cowboys, the Niners in 89, of course, 89-90, and then the Dallas Cowboys. Each of those teams, those 3 teams, lost in the conference championship game. So Kansas City will actually play in the game to three-peat and try to make history. This is unreal. Unreal.
I mean, he's just they're just unbelievable. There's no other way to describe them. I mean, look, we can talk about officials till we're blue in the face. The reality is you have to play a perfect game to beat them. Perfect. Yep. Not really good. You'd be perfect. That's how good they are. My bigger beef isn't necessarily with officials in a particular play. Like, great example. You and I were talking at the break. The throw that Xavier Worthy, I guess, apparently caught, the two guys looked like they were catching it simultaneously. I don't know. I don't know. Did the Chiefs come down with it? He had one hand on it. Yep. The Bills looked like they had two hands on it, but it wasn't on his chest. There was going to be a hold on that play anyway. And McDermott throws a challenge flag. I watched it over and over and over. I don't know. I literally do not know. Now, I understand if I was a Bills fan, I'd probably be like, that's an interception. Right. If I was a Chiefs fan, I'd probably say that's a reception. I know that there's things like tie goes to the offense. I don't even know. Here's my bigger overarching thing when it comes to officiating. It's impossible to play defense. It's impossible to play defense. Here's where I'm going with this. The tush push, okay? If I'm a defender and I stick up a running back or a wide receiver and he's held up and then another guy comes crashing in, the official is almost immediate in terms of blowing the whistle so that you can't come in what I call the Deshaun Goldson. Right. Oh, you want to get held up and keep fighting for yards? Here comes Deshaun Goldson, like a boomerang, a cannonball, bang, let me hit you. Who gets flagged? The defensive player. Yep. Why is it that the tush push will allow a head start run, whether it's a lineman, whether it's a tight end, a running back, a wide receiver, to come 3, 4, 5 steps in and come crashing in to a pile and allow the quarterback to get pushed forward? When if the defense did that, we would always throw the flag in the open field. It makes no sense to me. I want that adjudicated out of the game. The second one, the sidelines should not be a safe space. I'm sorry. If I'm a cornerback and I'm trying to tackle Mahomes, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and these guys are coming at me and they are just muscle. Look at Jalen Hurts' legs. Look at Jalen Hurts' body. And I'm a 5'9" to 5'11", 195-pound DB. I'm going to try to keep my eyes on you, and I'm trying to hit you. Now I have to look down as to whether your foot or your toe was on the sidelines. I get trying to have player safety. But if that guy turns upfield, who's the first guy getting plowed? The DB. I just think this whole thing is out of control in terms of safety near the sideline. I understand. We don't want late hits. We don't want people to get hit. But you got to be kidding me.
Let's hear the sound.
Pressure again. Hurts floats away. Barkley, one-handed catch. Not going to be able to down, but then hit out of bounds. And there's a penalty. Oh, my goodness. Mikey Sainer still on the hit. A huge mistake.
Yeah, right on the sideline. Sainer still saying he was in bounds. He's got his right foot. And just as the left foot hits, I think that's a good call.
Mike, you like that call there?
I do, because it's just a matter of the left foot being down. The left foot's down out of bounds just prior to the contact. You could actually pick that up in replay if it wasn't, but they looked at it and said that they could not pick that up since the foot was down.
We're watching in slow-mo as to whether the foot went down or not. Again, if Saquon, we're talking micro fractions of a second. If Saquon turns upfield and that DB, it kind of eases up, who's the first to get plowed?
See, I thought on that play, Saquon had given himself up and was clearly headed out of bounds. And I just think, as a defender in that situation, it's better to play safe on that particular play. Now, I get it with the Mahomes scrambles and the Allen scrambles. It's tough to hold up in situations.
Those are more egregious.
But that one yesterday with Saquon Barkley, I thought he had clearly given himself up. It was clearly headed out of bounds. And it's a bang-bang play by a young defender. I think maybe if you just thud him and you just push him, but the fact that the contact, it looked like it was a kill shot almost, right? Now, DB's small. He's 185 or whatnot. And he hit him, and there was no flop in there. I just thought it was a little too close for comfort there, and I thought it was the right call. I thought Washington was undisciplined at times yesterday, and how they turned it over 4 times, and the Eagles scored touchdowns on all 4 of those turnovers. That play in particular, I thought Saquon had given himself up.
See, I view the whole defensive thing right now, all the rules are slanted toward the offense. And so to me, like, if there is a bang-bang play on the sidelines, can we have a little leeway? Just a little.
I agree.
For the DBs, just a little.
I agree.
Like, again, I hear you on maybe Saquon was giving himself up in that, but what if he does plant his foot in the ground a micro inch away from the sideline and then turns upfield, and that guy eases up a little? He could get hurt.
He could get hurt, but it's a big play. It's a big play. Saquon, I thought, clearly gave himself up. With the quarterback, it's a little different. You're going to have to be cautious with the quarterbacks because we know the quarterbacks get the call. So, yeah, there's no doubt about that. That needs to be looked at a little bit, but Washington, man, just shooting themselves.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's not why they lost. I want to make it clear. That's not why they lost.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm just saying my bigger beefs with the officials are not individual plays. It's more, my God, it's impossible to play defense.
But this has been the case for the last decade. And this was the warning that I thought, the NFL giving away. And I thought, boy, this is an offensive league now.
100%.
Pass interference, defensive holding, legals heads to the face. I mean, none of these calls, and this has to do with the fantasy football. It has to do with the casual fan wanting points. They don't want defensive battles. They want points. They want the light bulbs at the scoreboard blown out because the points are being scored left and right. And that's just the day and age we're in. It's hard to play defense, and we know that. But I think they will, and Adam Schefter mentioned it yesterday, that the league will look at the quarterback slides and some of these plays that are getting called for 15 yards. Let's go to...
Well, real quick on the tush push before you go out to the lines. I just don't see the tush push as some, exciting play. I think it's garbage. And again, I say, how many times has any runner, wide receiver, tight end, whatever, they get stuck up, and it's 1, 2, all right, the whistle's blown. If a linebacker comes flying in and hits that guy, it's always a penalty.
It might be a flag.
But yet we're allowing, and again, it's not just Jalen Hurts, but we're allowing anyone I'm A.J. Brown. Let me come flying in and hit someone from the back. I just think it should be looked at.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that exciting of a play.
I think they will. Now, some team, Buffalo ran into his push and got stuffed. They got stuffed.
It's true.
The Eagles did get stuffed yesterday. The Eagles did get stuffed yesterday. Where Brady mentioned it, that they run the tush push to the left side of the formation most of the time. So you start to see teams maybe have a little more success, but the tush push is going nowhere. Teams in college are running it. We saw the Baltimore Ravens running it with tight ends. There was a crazy play. Who ran it? Was it college or I don't know where I saw it, but they were lining up for the tush push, and the snap went to the running back. Yes. I don't know who. I forgot who ran that play. It's wow, here's the evolution of the tush push.
And then I think we all found out in real time, oh, wait a minute. If you just jump over the top 2 or 3 times in a row, the official's hey, we can award them a touchdown. What? Yeah, I never knew that was the
case. How close can they put this ball to the goal line at this point?
Well, interestingly enough, you got a situation here. If these are deliberate, and you heard Sean Hockley say that it could lead to an unsportsmanlike conduct call, it could also lead to awarding a score if it happens multiple times like this. We'll hear what Sean has to say.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of second down.
I
didn't know that.
I've been watching football my whole life, and I didn't know that was a rule. I mean, the NFL rule book is so damn complicated and complex. I mean, good luck to the casuals trying to follow along football. I mean, it's insane.
Between that, Bonte and Shasky, and then the blended clock, I have never heard that before in my life. The blended clock, where there was a half-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So Mahomes asked the ref, he's like, can I just bring this down to the 2-minute warning? They're like, oh, yeah, that's good. I was like, wait, what? There's a difference. If I'm Buffalo, I'm pissed at that.
That's the one thing with the NBA. Zero means shot clock violation or a game clock violation. The NFL, it could be zero on the play clock, and they say, well, you got a little buffer with the zero. It's wait a minute, zero is zero. Zero means zero.
But again, I don't pretend I had my hand in the dirt and I know what it's like being a nose tackle. But if you watch it, Jalen Hurts' his head can just keep bobbing his head, and then the center can kind of play with the ball. Yep. He can keep spinning the ball. It's just the whole play is out of control.
Yeah, it's out of control.
I'm done with the tush push.
We can award a play.
I'm so done with it. You know what I was thinking? What would Lee Woodall do? Lee Woodall would have done exactly what that guy did yesterday, Luvu, whatever the guy's name, who was actually having a great game. He would have jumped over the top and tried to take out the quarterback.
Chiefs and this 888-957-9570. Who are you rooting for? Chiefs or Eagles? I'm rooting for the Chiefs because I hate that Philadelphia Eagle fan base. I don't want them to be happy at all. I don't want Sirianni to have a Super Bowl. So you rooting for the Eagles, Nick?
No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't root for the Eagles because they're NFC and I think Fat Dom where they're trying to hide when what's his name got hurt his leg. Get out the way, Fat Dom. Go sit down somewhere. You're even fatter than you were before, bro. Do something, man. Something to block the camera. But I just want to say, man, the Eagles is hungry, but man, I could never root for them on any day, man. I need cry Eagles cry all the way. And if Mahomes got to get it, man, whatever, man, go ahead, get it. But I'm just like, man, the Niners, we got DJ Jones back. Why we let him go in the first place? I don't even know, because both of the guys has the biggest sack total when we had DJ, and now he's back, and he said we got Salah back. We need to go get Tyreek Hill and bring Mostert back as well, since we have 5 running backs.
You're asking me who I'm rooting for?
Yeah, who are you rooting
this
for?
Is such a hard one. I cannot let Sirianni win a Super Bowl before.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I can't.
You can't. Come on.
You guys lost twice to this team in the Super Bowl, and you're going to be rooting for them?
Well,
this is the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome I've ever seen in my life.
I tell you what.
Oh, my God.
I tell you why, Spinoni. Because then the Eagles would be at the same table as us. They lost twice to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
They've already won a Super Bowl. They've already beaten the GOAT in our time. In the last decade, they've already beaten them.
I don't care.
So who cares?
I don't want that city to be.
The Chiefs, I waved the white flag. Here you go. I'm waving the white flag on the Chiefs. You're great. You're better than us.
Actually,
I
know what?
I'm not ready to admit that.
Taking out the biases, I want to see history. I want to see history made. I want to see a three-peat.
And you were a footnote in that history.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we're not a footnote.
That's fine.
We're
a lot cooler footnote, I guess, if they win.
Man, it is what it is.
We're a huge part of that story.
We can't rewrite that history. But I can't have the Philadelphia Eagles partying around thinking, because guess what? Philadelphia, they win this one, they're going to be set up to go back-to-back. They're going to be set up perfectly for the future. Perfectly. I don't want them winning anything. I want that city to be miserable. I can live with Kansas City and Mahomes winning another one, and hell, they'll be in a position to four-peat.
So the devil you know versus the devil you don't?
Yeah, I mean.
I don't, honestly, we lose no matter what. Like, there's no other way around it. This sucks. Like, it does. Porter, JP Money, hit up the group thread last night. So, I guess we're all golfing during the Super Bowl, and I might legitimately go golfing.
I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going
to be sitting in front of the TV watching.
The last time I had this big of a problem watching the Super Bowl.
Rams Bengals?
Yeah, how did you know?
Because we've done shows together for 5 years.
I think you said I have a big problem with the Super Bowl.
If we went to that NFC Championship game together,
my soul.
And that Monday,
but it was easy to root for the Bengals.
No.
It was easy to root for Joe Burrow.
I was so sad. I knew the Rams were going to win. I knew it.
Well, yeah, it's because you had just seen the Super Bowl played in L.A. against the Niners. Like, that was.
I took a nap during that Super Bowl and woke up in the fourth quarter just in time for Cooper and Kupp to catch one, no look pass from Stafford.
Yeah,
God, that was.
I don't want the Eagles winning because now they're sudden you got your boy Gilly out there dancing to blow the whistle.
I like.
He's dancing to blow the whistle.
That's their.
They took our song in the Bay Area and they're using it, celebrating, talking about blow the whistle.
I'm jealous.
I can't have them partying down Broad Street or Bourbon Street, New Orleans, playing blow the whistle. Winning the Super Bowl playing the Bay Area song. I can't have that.
The refs were blasting that at Arrowhead last night, too.
I can't have it.
All right, that's a 3.
I can't have it. I can't have it. Nope. Can't have it. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, NAC1 San Francisco at Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. 888-957-9570 is the number. Niner fans, what have you learned during this postseason? And Niner fans, who the hell do you root for? Or do you watch the Super Bowl? What are you going to do on Super Bowl Sunday? This is a nightmare situation. A nightmare. I'm in football hell right now. What about you, RJ and Fairfield?
I'm so upset. Hey, I'm rooting for the Eagles, man. Y'all are crazy. I hate KC. I hate Travis Kelce. I hate Patrick Mahomes, and I can't stand the cameras going to Taylor Swift. I need to see a sad look on that pretty face, But coming out this weekend, these are the most two complete teams in the league right now, and just taking it away. I don't know why the 4th and 1 QB sneak from Josh Allen was it measured before they watched the replay, because I felt like they should have measured that ball before they okay.
RJ, I thought there should have been a measurement after Kincaid caught the 3rd and 3. There should have been Buffalo. I got to be screaming if I'm McDermott. Measure. Can I get the chains out there or throw the challenge flag? I thought they bossed it on the play before the 4th and 1. They rushed the 4th and 1 for crying out loud.
I think so too. I think the Bills are just too Josh reliant. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not a complete team yet, and they have offense, defense, and I'm just looking at those two team guys. Man, the Niners are so far behind. As far as where we stack up against these two teams. But like I said, I think I'm rooting for the Eagles. I hate KC, man. I love y'all boys, man. Y'all have a good week.
You too, RJ.
It brings me to Patrick Mahomes. All these think pieces, all these people telling me about what is it called? EPA. What are the different?
Oh yeah.
The stupid metrics and the stats.
Yeah.
I don't care if this guy threw 40 interceptions. I don't care if he threw 40 interceptions
CPOE.
and 1 touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, from here on out, and we said it multiple years ago, stop telling me, well, he had the 17th best quarterback season this year. What did he throw for 25 touchdowns and 11 picks?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. Because this is what I would say to you. On 4th and 1,000, we all know he's going to convert. We all know he's going to convert. How many times yesterday did he use his legs to make a play? The guy is one of the greatest players any sport ever, period. Stop trying to compare whatever quarterback, whether it's Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, whoever, Brock Purdy. It does not matter. No one is in his class right now. You could beat him, and if you want to beat him, you have to be perfect. Right now, okay? Right now, Josh Allen is 4-1 against this man in the regular season. 0-4 in the playoffs.
Is it 0-4?
0-4 in the playoffs. I have it right here.
Yeah, they lost AFC Championship divisional round game, last year divisional round game, and now the championship game. Wow.
If you look at the metrics, no one has played this Chiefs defense better than this man.
Yeah.
And he keeps falling short.
Short.
Like, anyone who wants to laugh at Josh Allen, you don't know what you're watching.
No.
Look, was he great in the first half? Not really. I thought he was erratic. But
a little too amped.
That's what that defense does to everyone.
That's what that team does to you.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the Warriors. When you knew you had Steph, KD, and Clay, you're like, damn, that's 70 points right there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you go up 10, you're still looking over, and you're like, man, they're capable of going on a 25-2 run any second. They could just detonate, and they usually did. It's the same thing with Mahomes. You see him on the sideline, they're saying, oh, we got to score every possession. Oh, we got to score every possession. Oh, we got to score. Even when they're up 22-21 in the most critical play of the game up until that point, they pressed, they got tight, and they ran the play with 26 seconds left on the play clock, and nobody's talking about it.
No.
But that's the Mahomes effect.
I love that comp of the Warriors to the Chiefs, too, because the only 2 losses they had, right? You look, it was LeBron, Tom Brady, right, for the Chiefs, and then Kawhi. I know Joe Burrow hasn't won one, but Hall of Fame talent, right? It's only been those 2 guys. They haven't lost an Arrowhead since Christmas of 2023.
Wait till I give you their playoff stats.
And then, I know all the playoff stats. I got it written down here. But not only that, they blew the Bengals game. They were up 21-3 at the half, and they should have scored right before halftime. So they really blew that one.